And always don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That helps out the channel. That helps me out. That lets me know you guys are engaged. And I like talking basketball. I like the comments that I get. So let's continue to do that. But moving on to the Eastern Conference. Top half of the Eastern Conference. I got to fix that. That is a scroll. Give me 1 second there. All right, there we go. Top half of the Eastern Conference there. We got the Boston Celtics at 42-17. Obviously, Boston has been battling injuries there. To the front line with Al Horford and Robert Williams managing those guys. Jaylen Brown just got cracked in the face. Marcus Smart has been out for an extended period of time with an ankle injury. He has just recently come back. And Boston's still number one in the league. Playing really well. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown playing great together, having all-star seasons as they're going to Salt Lake City. This team has been fantastic. Also adding Joe Mazzulla to be the full-time head coach in a contract extension after his performance in the first half with the team. Celtics committing to him. I thought that was really good on their part doing that. Adding Mike Muscala, who has come in and has seemed to fit in like a glove for this team, knocking down shots, providing floor spacing. Another weapon for the Celtics to use. Sam Hauser has been picking it up. Blake Griffin has been picking it up. Grant Williams seems to have caught a little life here in a couple games recently. Peyton Pritchard looking to have a bigger impact. It's going to be tough with all these guys coming back with Smart, stuff like that. But he's also been contributing, wanting to be traded at the deadline. He said he hoped. But this team, of course, led by Jason Tatum, who's an MVP candidate, led by Jaylen Brown, who's one of the top guards in the league. The Celtics just have been clicking all season, and I don't see that stopping. Adding Mike Muscala only adds to their chances here in the title picture. So I thought that was a really good pickup on Boston, getting a guy like that who was under the radar there, and really improving that portion of their team. He's a big guy who can at least play in Al Horford's minutes in some size. I don't think he's going to be as good defensively, but he's going to be a big plus for us. Celtics. Moving on to Milwaukee, who has been missing Chris Middleton a lot. I think he missed the start of the season, came back, and then missed 18 games. But despite all that, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who has been playing at MVP level as usual. Drew Holiday has really stepped up to be an all-star this year again. Brook Lopez playing solid. They made a trade for Drake Crowder, obviously looking towards the postseason when they have to play the Celtics or Philly or Cleveland or whatever the case would be. Adding a guy like Jay Crowder who can potentially help and be another 3-and-D guy next to Giannis, that's a positive for them, and we'll see what they do. The Bucks are going to be right there with the Boston Celtics, I believe, in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we'll see what happens there in the second half. Moving on to Philadelphia with Joel Embiid playing at an MVP level, of course. James Harden really stepping up. Tyrese Maxey moved to the bench there. They got rid of Thibault and got Jalen McDaniels in a trade there with Portland. There was another team in there. Doc basically giving up on Thibault, and he's not really a developmental coach. So to see that happen is not surprising, but it's like, why would you guys trade him like that? But Philadelphia has been playing really, really, really good basketball. Joel Embiid has been a force. And Philly's right there. I thought they were going to be a 1 seed. We'll see if they can turn it around enough to get there. Everything's really close here in the Eastern Conference as well, like the Western Conference. So we'll see what happens with Philadelphia. Moving on to Cleveland there. Obviously getting the buyout market for Kevin Love. I think they're going to be looking at they bought out Kevin Love's contract, but they're going to be looking at the buyout market to add. I think they have $8.5 million to bring somebody in or make something happen there. That's awesome for them. They need somebody there at the 3 spot. I still believe, despite Okoro actually knocking down shots a little bit recently. Of course, they have the Twin Towers and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley up front, who have been playing fantastic. Donovan Mitchell playing before the MVP level. He's just not going to get there because there's other leading candidates, but he's been playing fantastic for Cleveland. And Darius Garland has been a Swiss Army knife. The addition of Ricky Rubio coming back for this team I thought was huge. I thought that was a nice touch. That they desperately needed that, especially for the second unit. And Cleveland's going to be tough, especially if Okoro's stepping up and knocking down shots. That's a team to watch. They're going to be dangerous. Moving on to Brooklyn. Adding Mikal Bridges recently had 45 points before the All-Star break. And that's what I think that was a big win for them because that's a guy on a nice contract, a guy with a little bit of more upside there. And we'll see what happens with Mikal Bridges there in Brooklyn. I'm waiting for Cam Johnson to come back. Spencer Dinwiddie is there, and they're going to be feisty. Brooklyn's going to be feisty despite losing everything with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Really trying to piece it together. Really, really trying to piece it together there and start anew. And after all the hectic, 2-3 years here with Brooklyn, looking for a little stability, and we'll see how that plays out. Moving on to the New York Knicks, adding Josh Hart, who has fit in like a glove, and they basically gave up Cam Reddish to get Josh Hart. And I thought that was a good move because that's really a guy that fits up right up Tibbs' alley. A guy that plays defense, plays both sides of the ball, goes to get rebounds. I don't know why people give up on Josh Hart. I don't know if it's just they looking at a better roster fit or whatever the case may be, but this guy plays tough everywhere he goes. He's been in LA. He's been with the Pelicans. He's been in Portland. Plays hard everywhere he goes. So now he goes to New York, which is tailor-made for him with the coaching style. We'll see how that pans out. Can't talk enough about Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, both guys who should have been all-stars. Jalen Brunson wasn't an all-star, but Julius Randle playing basically back to that all-NBA level. So New York definitely has some pieces there. Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quigley. And we'll see what they're able to do. They've been playing well, really, really, really well. And we'll see if New York can push a little bit here and be tough in the playoffs. I like their team. I think they're doing really well. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting for sure. Let me pull up. Let me pull up. Give me 1 second here. Boom. Let me pull up stands. And my predictions to start the season there. Let me make myself smaller here. Compared to my predictions to the start of the season here. I'm going to move that out the way. And yeah, we look at the quarter mark over here. Let me hide the Western Conference. Actually, no. We can play it out here. Looking here at the graph here, the Celtics are number 1. I had them number 3 to start the season. The Bucks are the second seed here. The Sixers are in third. The Cavs are the only one that I believe I got right so far, halfway through the season at number 4. And Brooklyn, surprisingly. But that's going to change, I think, with the trades that they have made. But they're in the fifth. They're in the 5th seed. The New York Knicks have jumped up. I thought they would have been struggling to make the playoffs there and have been in the play-in. But they have really put it together. Jalen Brunson has been a nice addition for them. And they're comfortably in the 6th spot. Miami Heat, I thought they would have been out of the play-in. They potentially working to get out of there and put themselves in the guaranteed playoff spot there. With potentially Kevin Love on the horizon. The Atlanta Hawks are in the 8th spot. We'll see what they're going to be able to do. The Wizards are in the 9th. I'm surprised by that, but I think that their changes are going to happen there. The Raptors, obviously out. Chicago, I thought would have been a play-in team. They're on the verge of that or desperately going back to the lottery. So we'll see what happens with them. The Pacers have really dropped off, but I think Tyrese Halliburton coming back, they're really going to make a push to get into the playoffs. Orlando, slightly below where I have them. The Hornets and Pistons, obviously, in the lottery. Moving on to the Western Conference, I have the Nuggets second, but they're first. The Grizzlies are second. The Kings, I thought were going to miss the verge of the play-in, but they're actually the 3rd seed in the Western Conference, so kudos to them. The Clippers, I thought were going to be in the 3rd seed. They're in the 4th seed. The Suns are playing well. The Mavs, I thought would have been a fringe play-in team, but they're firmly in the 6th spot. We'll see how that continues to go forward. The Pelicans just need to get Zion back. I think they can improve their chances there, and I think that's going to be the difference there. T-Wolves trying to figure it out through the Karl Anthony Towns injury. Trying to put that together. The Warriors, can they make a run here? I talked about it before. I don't know what direction they're going to go. They gave up on the Jameis Wiseman 2-pathway plan that they had with the youth and the older guys. We'll see what happens now. They've got some GP2. I don't Gary Payton II. I don't know when he is going to play. But we'll see. Kevin Knox is there. We'll see what impact he's going to have there. OKC, I thought would have been tanking, but they're fighting for a playoff spot. Utah, I thought would have been tanking, but fighting for a playoff spot. Portland, I already talked about them. I think they should blow it up. The Lakers, can they make a surge there? Spurs are the only team, another team that I have in the correct spot there. And the Rockets obviously tanking for Victor Wembanyama. My predictions are not bad. A lot of injuries probably affected these standings here, but I'm not mad at it. We'll see what happens going into the third part of the season and the final stretch of the regular season. We'll see what it looks like at the end of the season here. But yeah, a lot of interesting storylines, a lot of players that I think need to step up. John Morant, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, of course. We're going to see LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I think those are teams that need to step up. Players that really need to step up in the Western Conference. In the East, can Joel Embiid continue to be a beast for them? Can Donovan Mitchell make an impact a little bit more to rise the Cleveland Cavaliers? And we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting second half of the season. We got the All-Star game tonight, and I can't wait to see it. Until next time, again, continue to like, comment, and subscribe and support the channel. Thank you for all the support on the channel recently, especially with also my wrestling podcast, Ring Takes with Brian and Lewis. Thank you so much. Until next time, I'll be probably recording an Elimination Chamber this week, recap, and in Raw, of course. And then obviously get the start of the second half of the season. I'll try to put some things up, and we'll start the second half of the NBA season. I can't wait to see it. And until next time, and hopefully I'm feeling better and get my voice back. Powering through this, so hopefully that doesn't derail any fans or any people from viewing this video. But thank you. Thank you for joining me, and until next time.